Hello everyone, welcome to the Pequeno pod with Señor Pequeños. If you want episodes early, bonus episodes, special guest interviews, and other perks, please consider supporting us on Patreon, which will give you all of those things for the price of one coffee cup per month. You can find us at patreon.com/pequenopod, Pequeno pod. Otherwise, enjoy this free episode, and I hope you have an awful day.
I'm not representing Dasani today, representing... I always thought it was Nestle. It's Nestle.
Nestle.
Why does everyone say that to me like I'm an idiot? Like it's...
I think I knew Nestle because they called it Nestle's Crunch Bars. So immediately I was like, okay.
We didn't know what candy was as a child. I'm just kidding.
We snacked on fruit.
We had beans because we were poor. We had peas as well.
Spice it up. Rich pea flavor.
We were just looking for that pea flavor. That's why the homeless people refuse your food when you give it to them. Does it have
Not
that
enough
pea
pea.
flavor? No, it's a McDouble. Get out of my face.
Doesn't taste blonde enough.
We're like, I'm trying to give it boo.
Too much flavor.
Too much spice. You fucking pansy.
It's just like salt.
We're just holding up traffic. Like, people are honking at me. I'm like, what? And they're like,
Just
yo.
take the sandwich.
Just take the sandwich, please. Just, I start crying. They're like, you, what? You slap me in the face. I'm like,
Disrespectful.
Little white boy can use more spice. Why don't you eat this sandwich? He's making me eat the sandwich. I'm just like sad eating a sandwich in the middle of the highway.
Honks everywhere.
Everyone's honking. People are trying to drive on the guard around me. I'm just not moving. People drive off the bridge. Honey, I'm not getting home. Why not? I'm not coming home tonight.
Honey, you have that copy of my will, right? You know where that's at, right?
I think you have it. Fuck.
Be home in 20.
Did you bring the ham?
Just gripping onto the wheel with all of his might.
It starts like deflating the steering wheel somehow.
It's just squish.
Just crushes his own steering wheel.
You come home, the car just doesn't even have a steering wheel anymore. What happened? I don't want to talk about it.
He pulls the steering wheel into one giant like oar. He's just like,
This is now
come
a
on
stick
kids,
shift."
we're leaving. It's now a captain's wheel for a pirate ship.
We're driving
Daddy-
stick now.
Daddy, are you okay?
Why are dads always so angry? This is just something I genuinely always wondered. When do we turn angry? Is it the second the child's born that we're just like, blah, blah, we hate everything?
Man, I hate that little slop of flesh.
You should have put it on her back.
Ah, yes, we've made a new thing from my loins. I am now angry at it.
The boy.
The boy, I hate him.
Every Simpsons plot.
Oh, what was I trying to do? I was trying to... Who's the bartender in Simpsons? Mo?
Mo? Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to do an impression of him yesterday. I forget why. Why was I trying to do that? I don't remember.
You're just descending into insanity.
There was some video on TikTok that I was trying to stitch, and I was like, this would be really good if it was a Mo impression. And I tried, and I'm just doing it like with a COVID throat in my home alone, trying to do a Mo impression. And then after 5 minutes, I was like, no. Just gave up. This will be an idea that's just gone forever.
What was the joke?
I think it was someone that I think it was a sign or something that accidentally said like the jokes that Bart always does like with him, the pranks, and I think I was trying to end it by saying like, you know, is Mr. Your Balls here? You know, and I can't do them, but I was like trying to.
It's not bad.
It was not good. Then I realized his voice changed every season as I was YouTubing it, and I was like, this is too hard.
Season 1 compared to season 43 or whatever. Little off.
That's true. That's true. How many seasons have they had now?
Oh, I don't know. But I know it's been 50 years already, I'm pretty sure.
50 years? You're kidding.
It has to be. It was either 40 or 50. Hold on.
But the same guy's been doing the... For that whole time,
Hank
hasn't
Azaria, I believe his name is. There's 33 seasons.
What I see of the show, it's funny, but like, and they were like, it's on Disney Plus. I'm like, cool. And then I look at it, I was like, I am never starting this ever. I'm never starting a show that has 33 fucking seasons. I'm not doing it.
So it came out in 89. I'm sorry, I exaggerated. 89, 99, 2009, 2019. So it just passed 30 years, but...
That's crazy, though. 30 years.
Pretty good for a show.
For an animated show, yeah.
Because, I mean, Family Guy came out when we were, like, 1? When did Family Guy come out? No
I
kidding.
remember.
Ah, yes.
When I was
The funny
1,
dog spoke.
That baby is just like me.
I, too, want to kill my mom.
I, too, want to kill my mother. I, too, talk like this.
Ooh. Yeah, it came out when we were 1 year old. Well, when I was 1.
I was 5.
I was 7.
I've been aging slower than you have. It feels like it sometimes.
There, pal. We'll get through it.
Speaking of not getting through it, what the hell is with all the dead people already?
Oh, I don't know. It's the
We're
first...
not that far into the new year, are we?
A little over a week. And
God golly.
what, an hour ago, we just found out Bob Saget died?
Bob Saget, who did I say? Michael, shit.
I was going to say Lindell.
Michael Lang.
I was going to say the My Pillow guy.
The what now?
The My Pillow guy that's like freaking out and he's
My
like,
Pillow guy.
The My Pillow? So
Should I Google it? Is that bad?
his whole commercial was like, My Pillow is the best pillow. And it was made with a bunch of foam pieces and it contorts to your head shape or whatever.
What?
And it was revolutionary, I guess. I don't know. He was like, it's American made. We sold over 1 million pillows, this and that. And then later he turned out to be just like a huge conspiracy theorist. And he lost all of his brand deals and this and that. He went on a tour at one point and like no one bought tickets. It's just
the pillow guy went on a tour. I swear you could be making this up and I would have no idea. This is wild. The world is wild.
That's why when you said Mike what, and I almost said Mike Lindell, and I'm like, wait, no, that's the My Pillow guy.
No, I didn't know this. I'll have to look it up. Why do I feel like showmen like that? I would not be surprised if they turned out to be like conspiracy
Nut
people.
jobs? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, those people. The ShamWow guy's like, I'm gonna wipe you off from this country. We're like, whoa.
Hey, didn't the ShamWow guy, he was arrested when I was a kid, I remember.
Fucking course he was.
For like a DUI or something. It wasn't
okay.
that major, but still. Like, yeah, Michael Lang passed away.
Yeah, Michael Lang.
Co-creator
I'd like to
of
clarify that when he said DUI and I went, oh, okay. I did not condoning
That's fine. I do it all the time.
driving while not looking out the window.
Spices things up. It's like
I do it around kids myself.
Kids, not a fan.
We'll make more. What's the big deal?
Why is the lady crying so much?
I am so angry at my boy.
Punch a hole in the wall. You're moving tomorrow anyway.
My hand's just stuck in the wall the rest of the episode. So how was Christmas?
I gotta say, it's really odd seeing your room just empty. You're just in a white void.
I know, right? Isn't it terrible?
I don't know how people live. I've been to a few people's houses where you walk in the rooms and you're like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, especially like
single little Bulls poster from like 8th grade that they have up, and I'm like, he's not even playing anymore. What is?
Basketball's done. I don't know what you even have that up for.
Basketball got canceled in 2009.
Oh boy.
They replaced with golf.
Oh, good.
That's the new trend.
Every wall in here is barren now, and especially when my ceilings are super high, it looks depressing.
I can imagine.
And like some people's, like the walls are short enough and it's already a busy enough place. Like you don't need something on the wall. Sometimes that makes it look bad, but like this is not one of those apartments. No, that looks fine. I love stuff on the wall. I see an empty wall as an opportunity, but I just mean some people can make empty space work. But not this one. It's like you have to fill the size or else it's going to look bad.
When you walk into my room, it's just an assault to your eyes. It's so just violently like...
That's the way mine was in my other apartment because it was smaller. So I just had... This was back in the day when I wanted like everything on the wall. So, yeah. I need to frame some stuff though because framing it makes it look 100% better.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, I used to just raw dog posters with like tape on the wall. And
well,
then...
I had some stuff up here with the green paint tape.
Yeah.
I was like, that'll do it.
Did it hold?
Yeah, it held just fine.
Paint tape?
It was a piece of paper. It wasn't a poster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nah. Some of these posters are heavy.
For sure.
It was weird. Like most of them were the same material, but a couple of them were like one I got was in the window of like what was the old family video store? Is that what it called? That was what it was called.
Family Video. There's
Family
Blockbuster.
Video.
Yeah.
What was the name of the old family video store? You mean Family Video?
Video.
That one.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like when I was talking to my friend, I was like, remember that movie about the what was it, the Titans? And he's like, you mean Remember the Titans? And he's like, yeah, that one. No, I got a poster that someone got me from the window of like a Family Video, so it's like it was meant to have light shine through it and still see shit. So it's heavy. And you could like throw it at the right angle and decapitate someone. Oh, my head.
Okay, don't do that.
I can't do that anymore. It's so sad. I was actually dizzy today. Yeah, so to clarify, I've come off of now a week of having COVID. And I haven't had a fever for 2 days, so that's been nice. And I was fine enough today, and I was out of like water, so I had to go to Walmart, and I like masked up and everything. And I was like, I'm doing good. And then like on the way as I was getting done, I was like, I'm starting to not see things straight. And I was like, oh boy, I hope I get home.
Okay, Jesus.
It's okay. We're all gonna die at some point.
Okay, but like not tomorrow.
I wish. I don't think I've taken a sick day ever. Like I've only taken sick days for like when I've gone to the emergency room or when I like had to go to a doctor's appointment in Chicago. But other than that, like I haven't been like sick to take one in like 2.5, 3 years now. So this is the first time, and I had to take a week off. So
you got that 1 week of retirement.
1 week of retirement, and it felt so
now you
good.
just have to wait till 65. Congrats.
Yeah, no kidding. My dad always reminds me the other day, he was like, you got 38 more years of this. And I was like, oh.
Thanks, Dad. So why are you crying?
Well, I mean, it wasn't a nice week because, I mean, I couldn't do anything. Like, I had homework that I still have to do that my brain just wasn't good enough to, like, do. Because you can work from home now. So, I mean, I could have worked from home if it wasn't that bad. But, like, my brain was just barely functioning. And I had a fever until a couple days ago. So.
Thanks. I'm glad you're doing better, man. Jesus. Getting, like, everyone over here. But then again, I'm in Indiana where they're like, we don't need masks. It's fine. So.
Yeah, it was
everyone.
Weird.
Dude, friends left and right are just dropping with COVID. I mean, them too, though. They'll go like clubbing, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Well, yeah, that'll do it. I feel like the pictures I posted, people could definitely be like, "What a hypocrite!" But like, the place where we went for New Year's was probably the biggest room I've ever been in, and we were like away from everybody. And to get in, you had to have your vaccination card, which isn't proof that you're not it's
like
not that you can't get it, obviously.
Yeah.
And they did temperature guns, so no one going in had anything. And we stayed away from everybody most of the time. The place where we got screwed, which is why I think I got it, was the coat check, because it started as a line and then ended up being this mass of people. And by the time we could like pull our hands out to put a mask on, we were almost like, we're screwed. We were so many people that were around us in that last 5 minutes. And that's probably where it happened. That was fast. Omicron, I think, is probably what it was, and that was fast. That was like a day. So.
Seriously? You felt symptoms within a day?
Oh yeah. That was good stuff.
I thought like within 3 days you would start feeling stuff, but
well, with regular variant, yeah. And then someone was saying with Omicron, you can see symptoms within a day, which I was like, oh, okay, well, that and I'm weak, so
Stop.
So I'm just physically a piece of cardboard paper, but But I'm glad the fever actually went down. I was getting a little worried there. It wasn't ever like super high. It was only ever like 101 before I'd like take something. But
Yeah, but still it kept lasting longer. It was lingering more than it should have.
well, and I can't have like ibuprofen, so I was stuck with Tylenol, which is fine. But Tylenol you can only take for like 3 days while you have a fever. You should see the rest of the hall because there are no posters, no art, no nothing on the wall. It's just so barren and empty looking that I need to call maintenance in to fix something just to scare them. Because every other time they've been in here, like it's kind of cool because I'll get compliments from someone each time. Because usually the homes they walk into are probably pretty boring, but they'll walk into mine. They're like, well, this one guy, bless his heart, he sounds like he was just teetering on the edge of lung cancer. But it was like I was struggling to understand what he was saying. But he was like, he didn't look old, like he was normal age. But he was like, "This is a nice apartment." You're like, "Oh, sir, don't speak. Just go get a drink of water. I've got a Capri Sun here that could help." But
I'll write it down. Write it down. I'll get you a little.
I'll spray the Capri Sun into your lungs. But anyway, and so like now that when they come in, it's just everything's stripped. It just looks like my place was a front for something.
Yeah,
is what it looks
definitely.
like. So I'm going to call them back. I'm going to have one light on in the background. I'm going to be buck naked like this.
I want to get arrested this year.
And just they open the door and they're like, all the stuff is pulled down and just me at the end like, hello. Okay, buddy. Calm down.
You kill him off.
Yeah, oh no.
That's the equivalent of like going to like those empty defunct stores, and then in October Spirit Halloween comes and it's real flashy and everything, and then you go on November 1st and it's like 2 little masks and a piece of popcorn and you're like, whoa, what happened here?
I've never been to a Spirit Halloween after it was a Spirit Halloween, but like what do they do with the space afterwards? Does it just sit there but don't other things go in?
Everything's like the backing, so you see a bunch of panels of just black and orange and just empty hooks, and then every now and then you'll see like just part of a costume on the floor.
It's like the Grinch came through.
Honestly,
then it's Spirit Easter. Literally, actually, that fits kind of well. Business idea? Spirit Easter? Oh boy!
Just a bunch of chocolate and giant crosses.
It's just a bunch of dead bunnies on the hooks.
I don't know why it's not selling.
I don't know why you don't want it. We'll teach you to skin it.
It's good.
It's good. It's good rabbit meat. At least for a week. Okay, probably not anymore, but...
It's been sitting there just rotting.
It's June.
We rented this place for 4 months. We're going to keep it open.
I'm not losing any money on this here property. Or my rabbit meat. He's just like eating it on a little like Tonka toy campfire.
It's August. They're just rotting corpses. We got fireworks.
The Spirit Halloween employees are just waiting outside the door with like bundles of shit, and I'm like, not yet. No.
We might get one customer.
You want some rabbit meat? I've got some right here.
Half off.
Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Come here, buddy. The people that run Spirit Halloween are spirits.
Just a bunch of ghouls.
The pitch meeting that they have at like their headquarters somewhere, they're like, get this, there's a lot of dead people, right? We don't have to pay them because they're dead. So if we enslave them right before they die, we can have their souls harvested and have them run our stores for us. It's tax-free and everything. And they're like, this is a good idea.
You go to buy something, they give you the wrong change, and you're like, who? The manager's like, who assisted you? And you're like,
they gave you change from like 1888. You're like, this is the first penny ever.
This is just like a stone.
They're just bartering with you. You give them money, they give you like half a lamb. You're like,
it's a little vial of like oil.
It just says oil on it. But what kind of oil is it?
Oil.
Oh.
It's like $7 worth of oil.
From the first oil mine. Oh. Good.
Hi, my son likes Fortnite. Do you guys have Fortnite? Okay. I'll look around. That's fine.
Dad, have you noticed all the people that work here are white ghosts?
Those are just the costumes, honey.
Wouldn't you dress up as a white person for Halloween? I would.
I could try. I'll just shave this off.
Wouldn't that be funny? Like the one accepted form of supernatural events in like our history is the people that work at Spirit Halloween. It's just the one thing we're okay about.
That's okay. That exists.
They're still like full-on atheists. They're like, no, that doesn't count. We're talking about something else here.
They make good profits every year.
They make good margins. I'm a good benefactor to them. What even kind of company are they? Like, where is the one place where they hold all the shit in the meantime?
Just a giant empty warehouse. Half the stuff has mold on it.
I'm just thinking about this. Where do they all go? Where did they come from?
I don't know, but okay, this could be just something that someone said, like, out of their ass, but I believe it. Someone said the Spirit Halloween is owned by Spencer's, and that's how Spencer's gets half of their profit. That could be an entirely fake fact. I believe it.
I would believe it. Half their profit from that, and with Spencer, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
this episode is sponsored by Spencer.
Use code Pequeno for 25 off.
Use code Pequeno for a mold-free ballerina costume.
Woo!
Woo! That's interesting.
I don't know, but if you go on their website, they have party supplies in general. So they have like just tablecloths, tables, chairs, lighting. It's crazy. So
dead skin.
Oh, the good old box of skin.
We got white skin, black skin, every kind of skin in between.
Gray skin that you can't even tell what it was.
It's a box of white skin, but it just looks like a box of, like
box
gelatin.
Of mush.
That's terrible.
It's a box of goop. The bottom's
You
all wet
goofbag,
already.
this isn't the box of Elmo costume, this is the box of skin. Oh no.
That's horrendous. It's on clearance because no one's buying them.
Clearance, because
Free
it's
gift with
clear
every
and it's
$10
cheap.
purchase.
With every $10 purchase, you get a flake of skin.
Don't even package it, they just flake it in the box.
Open up.
You pull out your costume and you're like, what is this?
What is this? There's a pocket of... Hi, in the
There's
pocket
a
of my...
on your costume. Oh no, honey, that's skin.
In the pocket of my Peter Pan costume is just a pile of dead skin. Yeah, that comes with every 9th purchase. Nice job. 9th purchase? Get out of here. They're all just waiting in some giant, makeshift, warehouse somewhere, just, huffing and puffing, waiting until, Halloween starts, and then they can, get out of the building.
Until you brought it up, I don't think I've ever thought of where they go. I just know they appear.
Exactly. I've never seen them actually set up. It's kind of interesting, now that I'm thinking about this. You just blink and they're there.
Theory?
Spirit Halloween is run by dead people? And dead skin? Skin. I've always wanted to... The only reason I would ever want to live in, which one's the suburb? Suburbs is, families and people, right? Yeah. The only reason I ever want to live there is that on a Halloween, to dress up as a scarecrow and sit there with a bowl of candy in your lap that says, please just only take one. And then when someone takes more than one, you just reach out and grab their arms. Just scare the shit out of them. I would love to do that.
I mean, we had that here in, the last neighborhood I used to live at. There was a few houses where the husbands would just sit out there, act dead, they put on a mask, and they would just sit there and they'd have bowls. And I knew, from a ripe young age, when you see kids screaming at a certain house and they all run, and then you see a guy just sitting there, I'm like, all right, I'm not going to just go
Probably
to that
not
house.
going there.
I just skip it. And I remember one time my mom came with us, and she's like, he's not going to scare you, right? And I walked up and I got my little Snickers or whatever, and nothing happened, and I was like, that was sick. Thanks, Mom.
That's funny.
I feel like if she wasn't there, he would have assaulted me or something.
Probably. Kind of scared. Yeah, I was going to say, nowadays, at Halloween, you're like, how did we let this happen? You're just going around to people's houses with lights on, getting candy.
I have a question. Where did we start the whole razor blades are in candy bars?
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Is that just a fear-mongering, don't let kids trick-or-treat, they could put stuff in the candy, or did it actually happen?
I'm sure it happened once, and then that's what they used to scare everybody. But I mean, my parents always went through the candy to like check for razor blades, and you were like,
Yeah.
oh, interesting. And you never really quite wanted to just take a handful of candy and just ever again.
Always. Every Halloween I wanted to go through it, and my parents were like, you gotta wait. And they dump it all out, and they go through and they check. And
When I was a kid, I didn't know what razor blades specifically were, like the tiny ones, you know?
Yeah.
So I was thinking like, it was like the size of your fist. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'd see that in a Hershey's Kiss, but nice try, you molesters. I don't know what I was expecting.
Of needles sticking out of a certain packet, and you're like,
It's like sauce, just a pit of needles. I'm like, I'm going to stay away from that house. Guy inside's like, oh.
Oh, man.
Dang it.
Stupid kids.
There was a house on our street by a guy that doesn't live there anymore. And I don't remember this, but when I was like a kid, we just moved there. So I guess I was like 7. And she said they went to his door and they were like, okay. And opened his door and he was dressed as Michael Myers from Halloween. No. The music played as soon as the door opened and he didn't speak at all. He just like cocked his head, you know? And she was like, we gotta get out of here. And we're kids who are like, yeah. And he didn't say anything. He just like beckons them inside. And she's like, we're gonna go. Thanks, dude. And I don't remember this at all, but she was like, yeah, no, we never went back there again. He scared me.
So he didn't offer anything? It was just like, come inside.
Oh, I mean, there was candy. There was candy in like a bag, but I mean, he didn't say anything apparently. And I was like, interesting.
Was there?
So I'm sure we got home and
bunch of missing people cases in your neighborhood. You're like, yeah, I don't know. They disappeared every Halloween.
Hey, Mom, where's every kid on the street?
November 1st, your classroom's just empty. There's 2 kids. The Mormons.
Oh, that's fun. We find out we find out who all the Mormons are. That's what I was trying to say. Goodness.
Oh, dude.
You go back into school and people are just sitting straight up in their chair like, oh, you're a Mormon. Oh. No, we're not. And you're like,
why would you say that?
Okay. You look at your chair, it's empty. You sit down and there's a Bible there. Like, oh, fuck. Or whatever they use.
Just in case you wanted to come to our church on Sunday.
Just in case you wanted to come to our little club, I put a Bible up your ass.
Okay, not that. Did you have people give out those little Bible pamphlets?
Like Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yeah.
Because again, we were in a small town that did not have those people. Or if they did, they probably got skinned by other people.
Oh!
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
No, so did you?
Yeah, we had a bunch. There was a couple guys down the street from us, actually, like 6 houses down. I remember we walked up and we thought, like, oh, crazy, this guy just has a box out. Like, what is that? So we go in and it's just a bunch of pamphlets saying, like, you're going to hell. And we're like, we're just little kids. Like, imagine seeing that at 6 years old. You're like, what? And then, like, we take it because we didn't know. We're like, oh, okay. We put it in the bag. My mom gets all mad when she's throwing out the candy. What is this? Where'd you get this?
We got it. No, I only know one person of the people that I used to be in town with that were like, yeah, we had a Jehovah's Witness come by. We were skinning a squirrel on the driveway, so they just turned around. We're like, oh, so they just knew we were going to hell. Imagine how much it takes for one of them to be like, no, they're not worth saving.
You know, I gotta give them credit. Ever since the pandemic happened, they started mailing the letters of their little impromptu speech.
They start putting QR codes on the door and shit. Ooh, this is a good idea. This is a marketable idea. How do we make Jehovah's Witnesses more like COVID friendly?
Well, they're doing the letters already because I've gotten 3 already, just saying like, you know what, you need saving. I'm like, yeah, dude.
Your slow eye widening is so funny every time. That's so funny.
It's just so insane to get that. Someone that you don't know, that you've never talked to ever, saying like, yeah, chances are you're probably going to hell. So why don't you come to my church? We'll save you. It's fine.
Never seen a Mormon church. Is it just a field in Utah?
It's a barn.
Oh, fuck. That's Midsummer. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, I saw it.
Good fucking golly. That's a movie that, like...
It's one of those that you watch and then you don't watch it again.
Never again. I talk about it as like... So it's one of the... Like, now that I've done movie reviews long enough, like, I know enough, like, critic people, and they're generally really great people, but they all really like Midsummer. And you know, I just gotta say, no, it's terrible. Describing that ending sounds like I have a mental issue. Trying to describe what even happened in that ending. Oh man, what a disappointing movie.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's
I
a
had
lot.
hope for it when it came out because it was like the first Sunny horror movie, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then
To me, it was like, just because you like moan or do something weird doesn't make it like creepy, you know? The whole movie felt like that really awkward kid in school that probably should creep you out, but you're more just like, what are you doing, you little goofball? Like,
stop, knock it off.
like every point in the movie that was supposed to be scary, everyone was laughing at awkwardly because they were like, this is funny, but I'm also really uncomfortable. And then the ending happens and they're like, okay. And half the people walked out, and I was like, I really should walk out, but it has to get better than this, right? And,
Have you ever walked out of a movie?
no.
Genuinely in theaters?
Now I would, because now I don't really like pay for them, but like there were 2 times I almost did. Midsummer was one of them. And the other
You
one...
see, Nick, I dress up as a janitor and go in at 8 in the morning.
I watch every movie all day long in succession. I don't clean anything. I just stand in the corner with my broom. They're naked.
Hey, kid, watch this. That
Watch
always
this.
weirds me out. Yeah, because there's always parents that bring their kids to R-rated movies, and I'm like, what are you doing? I see that way too much.
Really? You do, huh?
I saw that at a couple years ago. That new Grudge that came out. I went to go see that in theaters, and someone brought their baby. Like the first jump scare.
Baby?
The baby? Yeah, their baby. And the first jump scare happened, and this baby starts crying. And I'm like, why would you bring a baby to an R-rated
Oh, that's
movie?
so funny.
Was the babysitter not
The
available?
babysitter couldn't come tonight. Bring him anyway. Bring the little shit. He just, before the jump scare even happens, holds the baby up to the screen. Look at it, Jeremy. Scare happens. Little shit.
Kid's probably traumatized now.
Oh my gosh. The only time I saw people bring kids to an adult movie was Halloween, but like I understood that one because it's like, it was a fun, slasher movie. So it was not appropriate for the kids, but I don't know.
I was going to say, like, yeah, it is fun, but not for kids.
Yeah, it was a packed theater. To be fair, though, those kids took it like champs, and I thought it was actually really good. So I had a good time. That was a good theater experience.
I think
that was Halloween Kills. So that one was the really brutal one where everyone was just like, oh, damn, every 3 seconds, and it was great. I loved it.
I haven't seen the new one. The last one I saw was just...
You haven't seen Halloween Kills?
No, I've been busy.
I like it.
Recommend? Oh, you like it? Good.
Well, so it's just different. It had a lot of controversy around it because like some people were like, this is the worst thing ever, and some people were like, this is fucking great. It's just absolutely brutal as shit. And yeah. So I mean, it's dumb, but I was fine with it. And like, yeah, it was just the very, very ending that I wasn't a huge fan of. And when you see it, you might, depends on what you think. But I thought it was a really good movie, good time. It was just, it was not the best movie you'll ever see. Not better than the other Halloweens, but it did something. I
think the worst movie theater experience that I had that was just awful, which is really unfortunate, was Ghostbusters Afterlife. That's like the last movie I just saw.
Really, that was the bad one? The bad
I liked the movie. The movie was great, but the people sitting next to me.
Oh.
So it was a group of teenagers that like came 20 minutes late, and they like ran up the stairs, and they're all like giggling, which you already could tell like the type of group that they are. But I was like, whatever, I'm just going to ignore them. I wanted to see this movie. I've been waiting for this movie. I'll just enjoy the movie. And then they're just talking, and they're taking pictures with their flash on, and I'm just like, But I'm just ignoring it. I'm like, I didn't pay for that. I paid for the movie, and I'm watching it. And then a girl gets a FaceTime call, and she answers it, and she's talking to this dude in the middle of the movie.
Way.
And her friends are like,
I can't believe people are still like that. There's no way in this day.
I mean,
and age.
they were little. They were like 13 or 12, but still, it's just.
Oh, well, then I would have just fucking punted them out of the theater. 13? I thought you were meaning they were adults.
No.
Sucks.
They were little kids, but still, like, it's just like, come on.
That
and the
shit
guy's
would...
like, you could hear the guy on the phone, like, what are you watching? Oh, is that Ghostbusters? What's going on? I never seen the first Ghostbusters. Maybe we could watch. And I'm like, dude, please.
Please. I can hear you from the back. She's like, please stop. No, that would not land in a St. Louis theater, especially opening week. You would have gotten a very hearty, like, "Oh, shut the fuck up!" from the back. And that would have been the end of that. I love St. Louis theaters. They're my favorite. I love these people with all my heart and soul. I feel very safe with them. It's great.
It's just.
But the problem is when it's not opening weekend and you've got like that assorted like 7 people in a theater, like that's when it sucks because that's when like nothing will generally happen. It's too empty to like yell at somebody, you know?
You have a direct target as to who
Yeah.
gets beat up afterwards.
What was it? It's so funny to me that there's a couple times at this theater the lights didn't shut off for like the opening night of a giant movie. I'm like, you have one job. Just watch over this theater and turn off the light switch. And they didn't. So I forget which one it was. I think it was for a Marvel movie or Star Wars or something. It was packed. And so the first person's like, hey, yo, the light's still on. And someone else is like, hey, the lights are on. And then, like, nothing happened. And so the third person's like, come on, the lights are on. Someone's like, shut up, you already said it. It's just great. I love it. And we're just sitting there, like, taking it in. But good times. Good times. Man, I've missed having this shit since COVID happened. It's been a long time. Can you imagine if, like, Endgame and shit came out during COVID? That would have just...
Tragic.
That being said, No Way Home did extremely well. And that was a great theater experience. That's the best one I've had in a long time.
I was going to say, but the theaters are finally opening up again, so...
They've always been open around here. They haven't closed down again, which is nice.
Oh, over here they closed...
Really? Did they?
Yeah, they closed their theaters. Their theaters just opened up when, like, the new Suicide Squad came out. Like, that's...
Oh, the new one. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
They opened up back in 2016 for the old Suicide Squad.
Pandemic.
Man, do you remember that one? Oh, man, what a disappointing movie.
I didn't watch that one. I just...
Oh, you've never seen it?
I was so hyped. I saw the trailer, and I'm like, this is great. This is great. I want to see this. And then every single one of my friends were like, yeah, it was awful. And I was just like, all right, I'm not going to spend $12 on it.
Well, okay, we need to watch it sometime when we're together and make
I know, because you guys always make the Jared Leto references.
Oh,
and
it's
I
so funny.
See it.
It's so bad.
Yeah, we'll watch it, dude. That's fine. I saw the new one, and I love the new one.
The new one's great. The new one's...
no issues with the new one.
It tanked in theaters. I was so sad.
We saw it in theaters. We wanted to support it.
Well, yeah, I know. It's same here. I just mean, like, wow. I mean, like, the news came out after the first weekend that it did abysmal, and I was like, how? Well, it didn't help. It was called The Suicide Squad. I'm like, what is with the thes, by the way? Everyone's doing that. Does that? Did they run the numbers? Does that work? The Batman, The Suicide Squad,
The Ghostbusters.
Well, what was the other one? There was another like kind of reboot that was called The, and I was like, man, we really got to not do this again.
Well, the first one was
confusing
Grudge,
too,
and then The Grudge.
Yeah, true. How was the new Grudge? I heard that was not that good either. That's the one with the hair in the shower, right? The hand coming through the head.
Yes.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I grew up watching stupid, dumb horror movies, so I have a tolerance for them. I know they're dumb. I know they're stupid. I know they're predictable, and I still enjoy it because it's just so stupid and out there.
Mm-hmm.
The new Grudge I liked. It's directed by Sam. What's his last name?
Not Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
He was directed by Sam Raimi?
Yeah.
Oh, my boy.
And so it was like it was well shot.
Ugh.
A lot of, because I mean he filmed The Evil Dead too, and I love The Evil Dead. One of my favorite movies.
I need to see Evil Dead.
It's so good. It's campy. Okay, the original one's campy, and the new one's even campy, but they're both enjoyable if you just turn your brain off for the whole movie. Mm-hmm. It's just they're both dumb slasher movies, but they're really good. So I like the way it was filmed. I didn't mind the story because it fills in some of the blanks that you got left open from the other ones. But I remember the movie ended, and this like big biker dude in front of us, he's like, "That was gay as hell," and he like walked away.
What?
And I was like, I enjoyed it.
Was he just holding that? Was he just holding that in with a boner the whole time?
He screamed it, and people were like, "Yeah!" And I was like,
"That's gay, brother!" You're like, what?
I was just so mad.
It was two ladies kissing at the end. What is he talking about?
The
Seriously,
ending is really just, oh my god. I don't want to spoil it for you. You do have to watch it. It's just like a really dumb movie to watch.
The
Just
new
watch
one. I want to watch. Isn't the old one the good one though? Like the classic
they're
one.
both. I enjoyed both like equally. So
All right.
they're both just goofy movies. Like, I know you're not gonna like them, but like it's just a stupid movie where you can laugh at it. Like, come on, what is this? It's one of those movies where you just watch it, a scene unfolds, and you're just silent, and you're like, huh. One of those.
Oh, it wasn't The Grudge. What was it? It was a new movie though. There was this. Maybe it was The Grudge. There was a shot in the trailer that I liked, and it was. I think it was a hand kind of imitating the shower rings on the curtain, and then it kind of peeled off. I thought that was cool, and that was it. But I know nothing about. I'm always gonna go see movies until like the reviews come out. It's like a 20% Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, I'll probably not do that. But
I never check reviews for movies unless I've seen it, and then
I don't read them. I just check the percentage to know if it's like worth my time. But otherwise, I mean, I pretty much
go in
see
blind every time. I'll see like a trailer once on YouTube, and then I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm sold. I'm going. And then I'll watch it, and then I'm like, okay, I liked it. Let's see what people thought. And then people are like, I hated that. And I'm like, ah. But I grew up watching like the worst films because I know you're from the Midwest, but I don't know if Svengoolie reaches that far. Did you guys have Svengoolie over there? Did you guys have local television?
I mean, we had it, but not that. No.
Okay, so over here on Channel 26 WCIU, the Chicago station, at 7 o'clock they would show 2 hours of Three Stooges, and then at 9 o'clock they would show Svengoolie, which is he's this guy with a top hat, and he has long hair, and he has all this like ghoulish makeup, and he just tells really awful jokes, and people hate him, and they throw chickens at him, and then he just shows you. Yeah, they throw rubber chickens at him.
Oh, rubber chickens.
Yeah. And then he shows you a very bad movie. He gives you some facts about the actors and junk and what they've made after that.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And then that's it. So, like, I grew up watching that for years, so I had a tolerance for stupid. And then seeing, like, the big motion pictures now come out with dumb films, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
But to the average person that's like, I want to watch a scary movie every now and then. They're not going to enjoy it because they're going to be like, this is dumb, this is awful. So I'm used to it, so I don't mind it, but like my opinion would be biased compared to just a regular average Joe that watches all of the wide variety.
I love hearing yours, though, your opinion. I'd love to hear you talk about certain scary movies, too, because that's probably the genre I'm most behind in, that I'm trying to catch up in.
I could send you like a list of like just a few of I have like, there's like 6 main movies that I show all my friends. That are like, these are just...
some of those you have to save for when we can meet in person.
Yeah, we can watch them.
Yeah.
Rip on them.
I love... Yeah, they're just some of those movies where it's okay to, like, rip on the whole movie and people aren't going to get annoyed.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I feel like we have to do that with Justice League. We never got around to doing that.
I don't know if you really want to do it with Justice League.
Not the
Suicide Squad would be a better one because it's like bad, but it can be like funny. Justice League was actually the most boring movie I've ever seen. Like there's nothing there. I saw it in
theaters. My friend was like, "We have to go see Justice League," and I'm like, because I didn't mind Wonder Woman. I thought Wonder Woman was great.
Wonder Woman was pretty good.
So I was like, "Oh, okay," and then like. Bringing all of them together, cool. And so he's like, yeah, we got to go see this. You like Wonder Woman? And I was like, yeah, I do. Because he would drag me to any superhero movie. And I was like, okay, I guess we're watching this now. And I had no interest in these movies. I would just go to hang out with him. So we saw Justice League, and it was me, him, and then we brought 2 other friends because we were like, why not? Just a friend group movie night. And like halfway through, we're like, this isn't over yet. Like we're all just like, we're ripping on it, we're laughing, but not because it was good. It was just so boring. And then the ending, just all of it. I had complaints about the jokes were unfunny. Everything.
I couldn't tell you anything that happened. It was so boring, and
it was so unmemorable that I don't even remember. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the most unmemorable, forgettable, boring movie ever. It's probably not that it's just like terrible, but it's so boring I couldn't care less. It's actually erased from my mind. Yeah, so I did watch enough of the Zack Snyder like re-release one, because I wanted to appreciate the special effects and like the difference in how everything's framed, and hearing people walk me through the differences and why things are framed or color toned a certain way, or why certain shots go longer or shorter, or why certain special effects or how certain special effects were improved. That shit was really interesting. The movie, still the same movie. So I don't know. Some people were like, "Oh, it's
even
perfect
with the
now."
extended cut, did you like it, or were you just like, no, you still didn't like it?
No, because the problem is it all still rests on a very bad story and the financial weight of DC's project management trying to catch up to Marvel in one go, and it's impossible to have made that movie good. And people are like, it's a DC bias. I'm like, I don't have any bias against anybody. It's just not a good movie. And the problem is that DC screwed it. It's not any fault of anyone else that's in it or whatever, but it looks so much better, I think. And it's just, there are so many crazy special effects in there. I think Weta is the company that did the special effects. I mean, it's so good looking, but it's just, now it's 4 hours long, and you have really got to be dedicated to that story. And it's just it's the same general story with a few minor tweaks to make it like better, but it's still like a not good origin for me. So, I'm never ever going to rewatch it, but
I saw the original and I just didn't like it. It was boring. It wasn't amusing.
I think so I would look up Corridor Crew does a review of the new one, and it's probably 30 minutes long, but that's a good enough recap of all like the things that are improved and done well, and it's really, really interesting. I'd recommend that instead of watching the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, I don't
really
know. I feel bad because
that
I know
movie.
that everyone that enjoyed it a lot is because they love DC. They love these characters. They grew up as a kid reading Batman while their parents were arguing in another room. Like, this is something that people have attached themselves to, and it's just, I'm glad they can experience it. Well, I really am happy for them, but just for me, it was not the same thing. But just Marvel's project management blows my mind. The way that they've handled and are holding all this shit in the palm of their hand, it's crazy. I think now they may have bitten off a little more than they can chew for the first time, if that's even possible.
The latest one that had like the sex scene in it. I forgot what it's called.
Well, I just mean that too, but I meant like the general direction, because the general direction up until Endgame was they were basically just juggling things. But it was just things. It wasn't anything super complicated. It was, we're going to put everybody in one movie and make them fight each other, which is hard. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying like that was their big task. Now it's that minus 6 people, but now they're juggling this multiverse concept thing that stretches across Disney Plus, this old CW shows now, and now the movies. And you've surpassed every common person's like. It used to be anybody could just go into one of these movies and be fine, but now it's like there isn't any recap.
Things and
you're screwed. I mean,
everything's linked.
Yeah, and I feel like now people are gonna start feeling like they're getting behind, and the moment that you start getting that wave of people feeling like they're getting overwhelmed and behind, they're in trouble. So it'll be interesting. I'm totally fine on board with where they are. I think they're gonna start losing.
Do you watch
people
the shows
quick.
at all?
The ones on Disney Plus I've watched, but like now
What about the CW ones?
Yeah, now I'm almost overwhelmed because now after this new one, I'm like, okay, so I have to watch Daredevil and this, and I haven't seen those. But I mean, the good thing is I've heard Daredevil's really good, and it's only 3 seasons. I'm like, oh, well, that's very doable.
Yeah,
that's very doable. I was imagining like 8 seasons of whatever. I started watching the post WandaVision Marvel show era, so I didn't watch any of the other stuff, the Iron Fist and Defenders,
I was gonna say
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that shit.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of stuff before that I will never care about. And that was also a moment of, like, they were making that, like, in a TV format, though. So, like, you had different teams completely with a different audience in mind, different feel. This stuff feels like an extended movie, essentially. So it's kind of crazy having them put a movie's worth of direction and money into a show. So, I don't know. It's kind of wild. I cut you off.
No, you're fine. Just seeing all of the stuff you have to tackle in order to understand I don't know. Maybe I just thought that wrong, but I always thought you need to watch the CW shows, Disney Plus shows, the movies to get a full well-rounding of everything. I feel like even if I go in blind, there is going to be some stuff that I don't miss or things other people will get excited about that I'll just miss completely because I'm like, oh, well, there's this, or why do I care about that?
Mm-hmm.
And seeing that, it's so discouraging for me to go into any one of these superhero movies or any new ones when I have a whole catalog of stuff I haven't seen. So people that are like, hey, let's go see this movie or this movie, if they're always superhero based, I'm like, do I need to know any prior context?
Yeah. Now that's the way it is. I think before, like until Endgame happened, I think you could go into any of them
pretty safe
generally and be pretty fine. And I hadn't seen any Marvel shows up to that point. I hadn't seen any CW shows, and I'm sure there was a throwaway thing here and there that was, but like they did it with the same level of people they knew would understand it. So it's like it's a nice little cool bonus thing for the the small percentage that watched all that stuff.
Yeah.
But now it's like you have Daredevil in a full-on movie, and you have most everybody cheering, but you also have a ton of people like, who the fuck is that? That's never happened before in a Marvel movie, where people, the mass majority, like half the theater is like, who the fuck is this? That's kind of a big deal, I feel like, in terms of, I hope they tested that out with their audience and they know what they need to do, because now they're getting to the point where they're not like recapping things for you. They're just going to dive straight into it.
Yeah.
Like the end credit scene for, what was the new one? The end credit scene for the Spider-Man was just a trailer for the next movie. And I was like, oh, I'm going to walk out now. Like, that's where we're at now, because they just want to really make sure you know what the fuck's going on. I'm like, that's not good. Yeah. Anyway, but
things are just blowing up way out of proportion. I mean, good for them, but it's going to be hard. They're going to lose
they've
some people.
made so much fucking money. It's incredible.
Oh, for sure. But now when you have this giant universe and there's all these...
there's so much to hold on to. I think they're going to hold on to it fine. The problem is, are we still going to be here by the time that they've wrapped it up?
Oh, I don't know.
Especially since, I don't know. Good. I think anything they make will be entertaining to me, but like, actually the shows have been kind of disappointing. I don't know. Have you seen all the Disney Plus shows? Have you seen any of them? So
you can spoil them. I'm literally not going to watch.
I'm not going to spoil them. Well, for the people but so the big ones are like WandaVision, Loki, and then there's like Falcon and Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, and like another one I'm sure I'm forgetting.
What If?
Yeah, What If. What If isn't connected in any way to anything whatsoever, so that can be completely skipped. It's just Well, a couple of them were interesting, and then most of them were just like, why? Like, I don't know. The animation didn't look good, and it was just kind of like, you could have definitely found people that sounded better close to these people, or replaced everybody, but it was just kind of...
Who's that off?
Yeah, there was a whole plot about Ultron, right? And I'm sure it's harder to find someone that sounds like James Spader, because he's got a great voice, but I could look up someone on YouTube and find him. And they need to do that more, I think. Find people that do voice impressions just to get one specific part they want. Yeah. People are doing that more often now. I'm really happy now. So the new sorry, we're getting off topic now. The new Dracula movie that used to have Adam Sandler in it. What's that called? Hotel Transylvania.
Hotel Transylvania, yeah.
Yeah, they're coming out with a new one. It's not him.
No?
It's not him. It's a voice impressionist guy named Brian Hall from YouTube that does a really good Adam Sandler impression. Yeah. And so I'm like, wow, I had no one thought of this stuff before. You want someone that sounds nothing like anyone? I can do it. But anyway, we were talking about the shows. WandaVision, I think if you're going to watch anything, WandaVision and Loki, they're one season, they're like 6 episodes. They're really good. They have style and theme to how they're shot, and the story is interesting enough to carry the whole thing. Everything else, not really, surprisingly. No, to the point where it's kind of maddening to me. So, Falcon and Winter Soldier looked like it was going to be really good. But I think that's one that I think, Marvel fans really need to give, to, just to make sure everybody on the outside of Marvel knows that, they're not completely insane.
Yeah, okay.
Because you got everyone else that doesn't like Marvel being like, look, they'll just like anything. And everyone's like, Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I'm like, maybe you shouldn't like it as much. It started off decent and it didn't go anywhere. And the whole last episode was completely shot in the dark because I guess they ran out of special effects budget. I couldn't see shit. The fights were bad. And there's a 5-minute speech that he makes to politicians. I'm like, what am I watching? This is bizarre. It's just a bizarre, unfulfilled ending. And the bad guy that they had for the show was supposed to be sympathetic, and I'm like, no, just shoot her. and then finally she dies, and you're like, and everyone's sad, and I'm like, they were blowing shit up. What do you expect from me? I don't understand. She also looked like, for some reason, she gave me Kiara vibes. I don't know. She just she didn't look like her really. It looked like a sister or a cousin or something, but I couldn't think of anyone else besides Kiara the whole time. So it was that much harder for me to be like, shoot her. But, so there was that one. And then the new one was Hawkeye. Hawkeye had so much potential because
Jeremy Renner.
well, because it was the most like underused Avenger, and he's a good dramatic actor, and just they didn't let him do anything. Nothing happened.
No?
They would get to points because it could have been really like emotional, because this is the most emotional storyline I think that exists in the Avengers right now. This friendship that he had with her, and the whole like. I mean, he had like her dying in front of him. Like there was so much there's so much potential here for themes being explored and crying and all these things. And they always got to a point where you'd sit up a little bit and then you'd be like, oh, it's over, I guess. Like it just never got anywhere.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah, it's too bad. And then, I don't know. It's just, the movies have always made a way for Hawkeye to work. The whole show, every episode, in the first 5 minutes, you're like, couldn't they just do this? And then the answer is yes, but you'll watch the whole episode anyway. And there was a lot of filler that was just like, and there was LARPers, LARP people.
Yeah.
There was like a whole, yeah. So there's a whole subplot in this show that revolves around that he accidentally leaves behind his Ronin suit in an apartment that burns down. So a firefighter like that gets to the scene afterwards, like takes it, which first of all, you can't do.
Yeah.
2, he's a firefighter. Why are we doing this to firefighters? And 3, so he has to go get it back, and he finds this person, and they make him like dress up in their group and like fight them in swords to get it back. I'm like, A, you're a firefighter. I know firefighters. They're not dicks. They'll just give it to you because it's not theirs. 2, even if they don't, like, you're gonna make the guy that saved the world do this thing in front of you. Why? You're 40. You're an adult. It was just embarrassing to watch, and it did not make these people look good in real life. It just looks pathetic.
That really sounds like they were just running out of ideas.
They did.
Like,
There's a whole. They're in 5 of the 6 episodes. I have nothing against them, but like it's they didn't write them in well. It's goofy.
No. Yeah, this turns me off to watching
goofy, and it was like that's not how firefighters and cops act. They're gonna help people. They're not gonna go out of their way to do some pathetic power grab. It's really goofy. And then the ending happens. So Kingpin is the main villain, which everyone knew that already. Which I guess he was the big Kingpin, and he was the big bad guy in the Daredevil show. Yeah. I haven't seen it. I really like the guy I can't remember his name now. Oh, shit. What's Vincent D'Onofrio. Really good actor. This was the first point in which I was like, okay, I'm really missing something beyond this show that I should have known. Mm-hmm. Should have known. And it really discouraged me from actually getting into it because there's just a lot that, like, you're just supposed to assume, I guess. And he comes into play, and I'm like, I know nothing about Kingpin. Usually all Marvel movies get you pretty familiarized with villains, even though most people know who they are. Yeah. There's none of that. Things just happen with him, and you're like, oh? And, like, so he walks up, and he rips the car door off, and, like he gets shot in the chest, and nothing happens. I'm like, oh, so he's got, like, super strength, I guess? Like, I'm just guessing shit that's happening in front of me. And then it's never established, like, what his powers are, what's going on. I Google it, and it's unanimous that, like, it's in the comics, it's in the show. He doesn't have superpowers. And I'm like, he does, though. He ripped the car door off a car, and they're like, he's just super strong. I'm like, yeah, you mean, like, super strength? You mean, like, the power? Like,
how do they explain the bullet, then?
I'm so confused. It was an arrow. It was an arrow, which even then, there was some part of me that's like, he's kind of pudgy, like maybe he can take the arrow. And I looked it up, and they're like, no, an arrow would kill you. I'm like, oh, okay, well. So I don't know it. I don't have any clue what his powers are, but the whole and the thing happened again. I thought I was crazy that the Falcon Winter Soldier thing was all in the dark. So was this one. The whole finale is at night in the dark. I couldn't see shit. This? It's just they're just doing shit because they can. Yeah, I guess. So Yeah, that was that. So I was not a huge fan of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not.
And I see that people rate that a 92% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm like, that score is like talking about like if it's fresh. And I'm like, it's not fresh. It can be entertaining. I'm fully aware that most people were entertained by it. And I was entertained by most of it, but it's not new. It's just, it had a lot of potential, I think.
Yeah.
I just didn't get to see any of really what I wanted. So I don't know. I don't know what the next thing is for them. I very quietly they just started the new Boba Fett series on Disney Plus, which is like I guess while they're waiting for Mandalorian to start up.
True.
And those like the Star Wars side shows have been really good.
That's good.
Like they've been made extremely well. The stories are really good, so good for them that those are going good so far. But was Lively ever coming?
No, she wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know what poke is, but so is that fish, raw fish?
Maybe. I thought it was like noodles or ramen or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
got no clue. Well, I posted something about clownfish kids, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna eat poke later," so it must have something to do with fish eggs or something. I don't know.
I looked up Pokey, but it's just giving me Pokimane.
Oh yeah, wasn't she? I saw a headline that said she was banned from Twitch. I have no idea if that's true or not.
I don't watch her. I don't know.
I don't watch anything on Twitch other than you, so I don't actually know. I just saw that. It's the headline on like Snapchat Spotlight, so it could be a year out of date by this point. Who knows with them?
Snapchat has some of the worst news I've ever seen in my life.
It's crazy, right? And you forget that Snapchat's like the second most used app ever still. And you're like, but how? It's just annoying as shit now. The Spotlight videos are abysmal. Seeing adult families have channels on Snapchat like make me like pray for humanity.
And they're making tons of money.
Oh, tons of money. They were supposed to pay you if you get past a certain, like a video past a certain amount of views on there.
That's what I was surprised that you didn't get paid.
They never paid me. I'm so upset. The one video I have that did really well on there, and I didn't get paid. And I looked it up and I did the numbers, and it would have been something substantial. It would have been like $3,000 or something. I was like, this will be nice. Nope.
Go email them.
I should.
Where's my money?
You owe me money. They returned the favor by like spying on me the rest of the year. It's not even like obvious, or it's not even like hidden. It's just like I open Snapchat and it's just somebody's face in my camera, like staring at me, like hello. And like okay, this is getting a little out of whack.
After 2 months, they just delete your account just to mess with you.
I would be fine with that because I need to. There's a new update where you can change the which I've been waiting to do for years, but they're doing it in waves. Yeah, so some Androids doesn't have it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, so I guess I forget when in December. I don't think we've ever had a tornado in December before. Weird timing.
We had some here too. I remember.
Yeah, it was everywhere, right? It was like Kentucky and Indiana. I mean, the whole Midwest was like scorched by these things. Mm-hmm. So what was I doing at the time? I was trying to desperately get a money order for my first month's rent at this new place because you need a money order because, I don't know, for your first month's rent, they have to prove that you're a real person by making you barter for it and like sell oxen for your fucking money. Anyway, it's ridiculous, all this shit you have to go through. So I went to Walmart. I drove all the way to Walmart. The skies ain't looking good, but I'm not paying attention. And I get to Walmart. I'm like 15 minutes there before the money service closes. I'm like, perfect. I'm going to get my money order and get out of here. They pull the gate down in front of me. I was like, And I asked somebody, I was like, what's up? And she was like, we're closing early for the storm. And I'm like, what storm? And she's like, look outside. And I look outside and, there's cows and shit flying by. I'm like, oh, okay, there's that. But so I needed this stupid money order. I need this money order by tomorrow. I'm freaking out now. It's my fault for not going earlier, I guess. Although I think it's a Friday, so I had work. But anyway, so I'm like on my way. I'm like walking around. I'm like, are you sure we can't just sell me? They cost $0.10. I'll give you $1. Something. And like they wouldn't do it. They were like, get out of here. And like on my way out, I passed by the greeter, and I'm like, hey, I need a money order. Do you have any idea where else I can get one if not here? And she's like, oh, yeah, I'd go to this address, and it's a weird address, so she kind of like spells it out. I'm like writing it down. I type it into my phone while she's standing there. It's another Walmart like 5 minutes away. I'm like, you fucking idiot. So then I like leave. I'm calling people and like Googling it in the parking lot. I'm like, money order near me, as if that does anything.
The car's dragging along. Money order.
There's like cars dragging by and kids like being pulled away from their mothers, and I'm just like, money order near me. And I like,
why is the service not working?
And I find one place that's open. I call them. They don't have a phone number. They give the phone number for the Walgreens next to them. So I'm talking to a pharmacist, and I didn't even fucking know it, as my car is shaking around. And she's like, oh yeah, we don't have money. Actually, we do have a money order machine, she says. And I was like, great. And I'm like getting ready to go there, and she's like, oh well, it's only for a specific bank. And I was like, okay. So I'm like, do you know where I could possibly get one? And she's like, I would try the Quick Trip. And I'm like, sort of right there, which is a gas station. And I'm like, Quick Trip does money orders? And they're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. I'm like, fuck. So I drive over the Quick Trip. It's getting bad at this point, and there's a siren going off in the background. I'm not thinking of it. Yeah. Anyway, so, and I'm in smack in the middle of St. Louis. So I get into Quick Trip, and I'm like, do you guys have money orders? He's like, yep. And I'm like, great. We start doing the process, filling out the form, whatever. And he's like, oh, no, actually, you're going to need the money in cash. And I was like, in cash? Who carries around like $1,000 in cash with them? So I was like, well, I can't do that. And then as I'm walking out to my car, that's when the second siren goes off and my phone goes bad shit. And it was like a state
Weather
sent out
alert,
text alert. And I screenshotted it because it looked fake. It said extreme alert, like it said extreme. And I was like, okay, can you just say there's a tornado behind you? Look, instead of extreme. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Fine. Your hat's flying in the wind.
Well, I am. I'm holding on to my hat at this point because it's
This looks fake.
What the fuck? I don't believe it.
Someone hacked my phone.
Well, and there's like two sirens in harmony somewhere. Like, you're gonna die. And so then I'm like, oh shit. Then it hits me. I'm like, I gotta get home or else I might die, because I gotta look up the weather, radar thing, and it's like upon us. So I like get in my car and
everything's red.
Hightailing it home. It's just tears are like blurring out of my sides of my eyes. That was the fastest I've ever driven home, because usually people drive 70 to 75 in the 55 on the highway the whole way home. Yeah. Everyone was driving 90, trying to get home before we died. I somehow made it. I can see the cloud behind me, like on the rain line on the ground, like catching up to my fucking car. I'm freaking out because I'm realizing there's actual tornadoes everywhere. And I finally get back and I go upstairs and I realize that I just went up 6 floors. And I'm like, I should not have done this. No. And I look out the window and the sky is looking bad. And I look up the weather radar and like the worst wave I've ever seen is like spiraling towards us. So I like grab my homework and like jump down to the ground floor again. But I was
still got your homework.
Yeah, because I hate everything. That's a common theme with me in natural disasters, that I'm doing homework. And then by the time it was all over and I was like, I probably overreacted to all that for nothing. I found out that like the tornado was like 10 minutes from us, or not 10 minutes. It was like, whatever. It was less than, it was like several miles away, but like pretty close. And like the line and the route that I took to get there was like the route that it would have like swung through had it been like a little lower. And I was like, oh, so I would have just been dying for 10 minutes getting home. The tornado would have taken me home. But yeah, so there was that. Somewhere there's a picture of me in college where our power was out for like a day and I'm just doing homework by candlelight at the fucking window.
That happened for me.
It was the saddest sight you've ever seen.
Yeah, I was about to take a midterm. The midterm was the following day. And the teacher's like, all right, steady up, guys. And then we got a tornado warning. And then we also got like heavy rain. So the power went out. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. And I was just sitting with a little flashlight trying to study.
Well, it was so bad too because we were all in our like collective units, in our apartments and shit. So everybody's having like a good old time, and I'm just trying to do fucking dimensional calculus by the fucking window in candlelight. Like I could be doing anything else right now. That was my college experience. A lot of fun. Engineering, I don't know why I did it, but money, I know why I did it. But here we are. There was dog shit outside the fucking back door today. Like, right outside the door, and the bottom of the door has those like little fan things on it. So I mean, it basically it concreted the shit into the ground right outside the door. So that was nice to open that up this morning.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you. If I ever find that little rat that did that shit, I'm gonna wring its neck. These dumbass pet owners don't know how to do anything.
Oh, yes, the poop. Yes, the poop. Just right outside the door. It's fine.
It would have taken me 3 tries with an animal to get an animal to shit in that exact position. Because it's... I wish I could explain it. I don't know how
it's
it
the
happened.
landlord. He knew you were moving.
Do you know how many, like, seconds you spend in that span of the door frame? Like, a second, at least. That means... in walking outside, you were that close to the street, and in opening the door, you were like, okay, we're here. Oh. And you were like, well, I'm just going to leave it. Shut the door and smear it into the ground a few times. It's disgusting. And that was the moment I was like, yeah, very good thing I'm moving from this one. Oh, and there's just piss everywhere. That back alley is not looking good. I remember when we first moved there, my dad saw it, and I was like, don't say it. Just don't say it, because everything else is perfect about this place. And he was like, I'm not going to say it. I won't say it. You'll smell it, because it's in my shoes. But, yeah, I'll probably let you go, right?
Yeah, I have to go in a couple minutes.
Yeah, I'm actually 2 minutes late for a test. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wish you the best. Let me know if you need anything.
Friends, bye.
I'll see you. Stay safe.
See ya.